The Rookie has had its fair share of shocking moments across its 8 seasons, including some surprising deaths. We cannot forget the loss of Captain Zoe Anderson, Mercedes Mason, in Season 1 and the death of Jackson West, Titus Macon, early in Season 4. However, one of the more shocking moments in the show's history was the final appearance of the recurring villain Rosalind Dyer, the late, great Annie Wersching, in the Season 5 episode, The Choice. In just 3 minutes, the Rookie delivered a conclusion for a long-time villain that no one saw coming. The Rookie's Rosalind Dyer meets her end in The Choice. In the appropriately titled episode, The Choice, Dyer returns to Los Angeles for her final stand, forcing her nemesis, John Nolan, Nathan Fillion, into a horrific death game. She ensnares his then-girlfriend and future wife, Bailey Noon, Jenna Dewan, in a death trap. In a nail-biting, tense sequence, Rosalind lays out her macabre plan. She wants to die by John's hands, believing she's too famous to remain free in the outside world, and she has no interest in going back to prison. Rosalind is convinced John's killing will forge her legacy, and with her final act, she corrupts the noble and virtuous John Nolan because she believes that anyone can be turned into a murderer, even a saint. Wersching is utterly fantastic throughout the episode, and she brings out Rosalind's most sadistic, devious qualities in her last meal scene with John. Rosalind knows exactly the right buttons to push to get under John's skin, and Bailey's time is quickly running out as the tank she's trapped in quickly fills up with water. Fillion also delivers one of his best acting performances here, beautifully displaying John's emotional conflict and how much this decision is tearing him apart. With the fire department and John's fellow Mid-Wilshire officers desperately fighting to save Bailey before she drowns, it's easily one of the most suspenseful moments in the Rookie's history. Ultimately, John stays true to his morals and beliefs, refusing to play Rosalind's sick game. However, just when viewers think it's over and Rosalind is finally being brought to justice, she's shot dead by a sniper. The killer is Rosalind's latest acolyte, Eli Reynolds, Thomas Dekker, who executes Rosalind before she's taken into custody. Even when John beats Rosalind at her own game, she still has one card left to play. Regardless, seeing Rosalind meet such a quick, shocking death was totally unexpected. The Rookie says goodbye to one of its best villains. Rosalind Dyer truly embodied the villain you love to hate role in The Rookie. Wersching brought a tremendous charisma and presence to the unconventional role in one of her finest acting performances. Rosalind was incredibly cruel and diabolical, yet always entertaining to watch on screen. The character's death was shocking because Rosalind was normally so competent and had evaded capture by the authorities beforehand. The Rookie killing off recurring villains wasn't unprecedented, but Rosalind had been a recurring fixture in the show since the 2nd season, so she felt relatively safe from death. However, despite John's refusal to kill her, Rosalind still gets the last laugh in a way, as she escapes from incarceration, which was half of her goal. Lucy Chen's, Melissa O'Neill, reaction to Rosalind's death reinforces the shock of the event. Lucy was also someone who was damaged by Rosalind, as it was the serial killer's protege, Caleb Wright, Michael Cassidy, who kidnapped Lucy and buried her alive back in Season 2. Lucy's dialogue upon seeing Rosalind's dead body says it all. Doesn't seem real. Tim Bradford's, Eric Winter, response to the ordeal is sobering. She only seemed larger than life. That's part of what makes Rosalind's death so surprising because up until this point, she truly appeared to be larger than life, and not even death could stop her. The Rookie's The Choice was Annie Wersching's final acting role. Sadly, real-life events offer a better explanation for Rosalind's ending. Wersching tragically passed away from her battle with cancer a little over 3 months after the episode originally aired on ABC, making it her final acting performance. Speaking of Wersching's work on the series creator and showrunner Alexi Hawley wrote, "Annie was part of the Rookie family. A special person and true talent who brought joy to our set and elevated every scene she was in." Wersching was an incredible actor who uplifted every show and project she worked on, and The Rookie was no exception with her portrayal as one of the show's best and most terrifying villains. Additionally, much like Captain Anderson's death in The Rookie Season 1, few moments in the show compare to Rosalind's ending in The Choice, representing the mark she left on the show that will never be forgotten. If there's one villain arc to revisit, it's the Rosalind Dyer saga.